Hello to all my friends out there in YouTube land, as I put the comments on. It's your buddy Philtastic Phil here. Welcome back to Last Week Today Live. Yes, we're live. I don't know what happened to Brian. I think I logged on like everybody else did and saw it's a 1 p.m. start. So it's not breakfast, it's not brunch. I guess it's dinner. But we shall see. And I hope everything is okay. My sense is that it's probably okay because then he would just cancel the show today. But hopefully everything is all good. Let's see who is here with us this morning. First one in, David from David's Comics and Wrestling. Madam Blaster, how are you? She was Power Girl this morning. And I know she wanted to hear the story about why I don't care for cosplay. Maybe we'll discuss that later. We'll see. Neil is here. How are you, Neil? And Neil, thanks for checking out the live show yesterday as well. Trev, how are you? Is Trev going to win a giveaway today? I don't know. Evil Mike kind of snuck in at the last minute on Madam and Gary's show and snatched that win. So we'll see when it comes to our giveaway if Trev's going to walk away the winner here too. Cody's here. I didn't see Cody's comment. Yeah, I missed it. I don't know what happened. Trev's on vacation for a few more days. Maybe that's why he didn't win. He's on vacation mode. And Zach is here with sorcery. Getting a lot of readings I have through the Bible of Aphra. I thought he was just going to say he's halfway through the Bible, to be honest with you. And let's see. Oh, here's Cup. How are you, William? Where is the most tastic of tastic men? That sounds like a Riddler thing. Tastic is a strange word too. I don't know. To me, it sounds like something to do with your balls. Am I right, honey? She said I'm wrong. That's what I said. And let's see. Okay, everybody's saying hi to everyone. Oh, wrong one. Saturday morning sing along. And I forgot to prepare a song. So there we go. Is Boar here? I didn't see well, Boar. Here we go. Here you go. You were lost there. How are you, sir? Our friend to the north. And thanks again for checking out the live show yesterday. The replay is up if you'd like to see that. It was a little, not quite impromptu, just kind of bad planning because of my guests. But we did in case you don't know what I'm talking about, Madam, you might be interested in this because there's a lot of cosplay opportunity, I think at least. We did a little bit of a fashion review of the Hellfire Gala. I'm not a fashion expert, but I called in a fashion expert, my sister, who is in the industry, as they say. I had said this at the beginning of that show. She had recorded one with me 2 years ago before I knew about StreamYard. And unfortunately, you never got to see that because I don't know how Zoom works. So I have the audio, not the video. If I'm feeling feisty later, we're supposed to get some bad storms here. I might do a little bit of editing and release that as an audio only thing and maybe throw some nice little pictures in. Joe, I saw you sneak up in here, sir. The Adventurous Joe, how are you? I love that name. Okay. So we have a little bit of a different giveaway. We'll get to that in a bit. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to start my giveaway tool here so you guys can get your hashtags in early. And we're going to also be testing. I know that StreamYard has a new feature with noise cancellation, and my little guy just woke up and is watching Miss Rachel about 10 feet away from me, so we're really going to be testing that noise cancellation feature today. Okay, opening up my giveaway tool. StreamYard. If I was smart, I would just bookmark it, but let's see. Here we go. Okay, so what hashtag should we do today? Let's see. End of July. A heat wave. Let's see. So do hashtag heat wave. let me show that to you. Hashtag Heatwave to start getting your entries in for a giveaway. Again, hashtag Heatwave. And Durs just entered the building. Mr. Durs, I know that you were cooking while we were doing the stream yesterday. I learned something I didn't know. Apparently, many, many years ago, my sister used to borrow my copies of Spawn without me knowing about it, and was reading them. No fashion thing. She just enjoyed the story at the time. I have to remember, I don't think she went with me to see the movie. I know that was my senior year in high school. I actually, if I recall correctly, I think I saw it twice. Once with my best friend at the time, and once with my dad, because I had really talked it up. That's all we had as far as comic book movies went in 1997. If you like it, you like it. If not, I mean, I don't know. I thought John Leguizamo, who's that? John Leguizamo was a big miscasting in my opinion. But what do I know? I don't know. I don't really care for him, to be honest with you. He was good in the Chef. In Chef, I think that was from what's his name? I can't even think of the main guy. The guy that plays Happy in the Iron Man films. I don't know. It's not important. That's a good movie though, and Leguizamo's tolerable in that. So an easy one for you because there's no new pickups. I was thinking about either running to my LCS and just getting a copy of the Hellfire Gala. I'm afraid, John Favreau. Thank you, Zach. Just to read the Hellfire Gala. And then I was thinking about maybe, I had this thought late last night, calling my LCS, seeing if he could just rip off that little tab so I could read it online live here. I didn't know if that would be something that you guys would enjoy. If a live read is something that you're interested in, let me know, because maybe I'll just arrange that during the week or something. So yeah, let me know in the chat. Would you be interested in a live read / reaction to the Hellfire Gala? Because maybe then I'll just run out at some point after the show and grab a copy. But we'll see here. Joe, my youngest sister always was taking my Uncanny X-Men and reading them, and now she owns them. Huh. Yeah, I mean, my sister did not. I don't think she read any of my X-Men books per se. I could be wrong. I'd have to ask her. But I know that, well, we discussed this a little bit yesterday. She did go to some of the films with me. I remember she saw the first X-Men. I think the last film we saw together was Daredevil. I would pull up a piece of rug on the floor. I would pull up a piece of rug on the floor and listen to you read, Phil. Look, Wellbore, I don't know how you guys do things in Canada. I'm not going to ask you to destroy your house or your flooring. Maybe if you were ripping up your flooring anyway to put some nice hardwood down or something, that'd be good. But I'm not going to ask you to do that on my behalf. But yeah, maybe I'll make that happen. We'll see. It depends if I could get out today. No, there's no apologies necessary. I enjoy you chatting, and I appreciate you making time, even if you're multitasking, as long as you don't get in trouble or something else like that. Yeah, and we might have my sister and I are trying to see, maybe we'll have her back just to talk about just superhero fashion in general. Paul is here. How are you, Paul? My local neighbor to the west, west, if I'm not mistaken. Whatnot wins. Ooh, I don't know if that has anything to do with lucky or maybe you had a nice paycheck last week. I had Whatnot. I bought something once and I've never gone onto it again. I did. Oh no, that was on Shortbox. I did sign up to sell some stuff, so we'll see how that goes. I'm head manager. Do whatever I want. There you go. I like that. Kenneth is here. Hi, Kenneth. And Scotty is here too. I keep meaning to message you, Scotty. I have a question for you. I'll pose it here, actually, if you don't mind. Scotty, if you prefer to message me with your email, but this is, I think, message me on Instagram rather. Maybe it might be something that, whatever your preference is my point. Somebody I went to school with, the guy was a couple years older than me, recently passed away. I don't know why he passed away, but yeah, maybe no. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna message you directly only because it occurred to me. I'm also streaming to Facebook. I don't know if any of his friends or family are tuning in on Facebook, so I'm not going to continue with my question. And I'm sorry for setting that up for everybody else, but I'll message that to you directly, Scott, because I don't want anything. I don't want people to take my question in the wrong vein. And again, like I said, I don't know the underlying reason, why he passed. Of course, it's a very sad thing, but Scotty, I'll message you that question. So I'll show you what I wound up reading this week. Of course, again, like I said, I didn't read Hellfire Gala, and so far, knock on wood, I've stayed spoiler free. I did a mix of indie books and Marvel this weekend. Before I forget, sorry, this just hit me now. If you are free, 7 p.m. tonight, it is Tony from the Comic Verse's birthday. He is going to be doing a live unboxing of a Transformers related gift he got. But if you're free, look, just pop in. I think he's doing a giveaway. I could be wrong on that, but just pop in and wish him a happy birthday. 7 p.m. on Saturdays, to be honest with you, that's usually our dinner time. So I most likely will not be on there. I've already wished him happy birthday. But if you're free, if you have nothing better to do, or if you're like Durs and you're the head honcho, nobody cares what you do, go ahead and jump on and wish Tony a happy birthday. So let me show you what I did read. I'll show you one of the indies first. These aren't in any particular order. This is a book I've had for about a month or so. I've been looking forward to reading it. I'm a little pissed because I can't get the second copy. And this was, I learned about this through Doug Bratton and through Reggie Collects. It's Dreamwalker, #1. This is a Filipino variant. Before we continue, let's see what my wife thinks of this cover. Honey, what do you think of this cover?
It's nice.
It's nice. Okay. Is it acceptable in your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay. So the cover passes my wife's criteria. I don't know what to put. She doesn't mind it. I don't typically veer too much into the indie waters through mail order, I should say. I ordered this because, I wanted to see. To be honest, I know Doug and Reggie are in an issue. I thought it was this issue, but it's actually the second issue. This is what I could say is a supernatural thriller. Nothing too scary or too heavy. And to a certain degree, I like those kinds of stories. We don't watch necessarily those types of programs, at least not at night. If you know why, you know why. If not, you might have to go back. All I'll hint at is that we had some issues when we moved in here, and we'll leave it at that. The art is very well done, and the story itself is very well paced. I'll give you an example of both on the first couple pages. Also, I as with most indie books, the paper quality is significantly better than what I've seen with the big two. I especially like this page because you have this next page I'm going to show you, because you have a mixture of the color and the black and white to emphasize the accident, which is the kind of catalyst here. So this woman survives this horrific bus crash. Everybody's dead except for her. And when she awakens, she realizes that she has this ability to enter people's dreams and take objects and then bring them into the real world, at least as long as the person who is sleeping is sleeping. From the time of the accident, she's recovering in the hospital, to another time, saying that she's using these gifts to basically kind of solve these supernatural type of mysteries or occurrences. The one thing I'm really missing from this story is how did she go from I'm in the hospital and I figured I could do this ability to I must go and hunt down monsters and whatnot using this ability. And they do have a little bit of a fun time with this too. I'm looking at right now. There's a scene where she enters some guy's dream where he's eating pork buns, like dumplings in Filipino culture, and she's going to eat one, and her friend stops her and says, "Well, look, it's a dream. How do you know it's not filled with shit instead of pork?" I can see a black and white print on it. Sounds a lot like Slumber. Well, Boar, I'm not familiar with Slumber. So quickly you find that there's this creature that is terrorizing this village. She is going to go fight this creature. And the creature is pretty horrific. And from what I understand, it is one from Filipino folklore. I don't know much Filipino folklore myself. But it is pretty terrifying as far as, monsters would go. And, my issue is it kind of, as many do, leaves you off into a cliffhanger, which sucks for me because the second issue is sold out. They do have several variants of this. This is the quote-unquote Filipino variant. I may have mentioned that already. This is another variant that, Madam, I think you'd really like this. It's a very cool, it looks like I don't want to say an ink. It almost has the effect of an etching. It is very creepy. And I did check online. This is going for a couple $100, maybe like $120, I should say, graded. I haven't seen one that's raw. But I thought the pencil drawing here at least was very, very good. Very detailed. I'm focusing in so you see the gradients in the wood and the creature under the bed, which isn't creepy at all, right? Yeah. So I recommend this if you get a copy of it. Again, the thing that kind of sucks is that the second copy right now is out of print. And even I figured, let me check eBay to see if somebody was trying to unload theirs. I was unable to find it. So I'm going to have to be on the lookout for that. Yeah, Zach, it really is something special. If you're interested in this, I don't know if they have any more of the first issue left. It's Second Skin Comics. So I would say Google Dreamwalker and Second Skin Comics. Second is in 2ND. I'll put that up here. And this is written by Mikey Sutton, who I know is a contributor to comic book news and entertainment news in general. Joe, who would say it's completely normal? I would say any member of the Addams family. Very thirsty today. Sorry. Hydrate. Okay. I'm going to skip around because this is what's on top. I read Slumber was a miniseries from Image by Tyler Burton Smith and Vincent. Oh, yeah, I didn't read it. I don't know. Was it any good? Like I said, I typically don't read many of those paranormal stories. This wasn't too heavy on the paranormal, in my opinion. And so it was about my speed. It was, like I like stuff like if you've seen like Josh Gates, or I guess it was Expedition X, where he was really looking at more of the kind of supernatural things. Back in the day, as a kid, I used to watch Monster Quest, which I felt like they actually cleared up a couple things. I kind of fell off of it when like, oh, we're going to talk today about bolts, which I didn't know was a thing, but it's a whole nother story. So I'll show you what I'm taking a look at next. Again, hashtag Heatwave to be entered in our giveaway. And the next one I read, New Mutants Lethal Legion #3. This is the 5-issue Marvel miniseries I'm not stacking. I'm reading as they come out, just because I had started it before I started the idea of stacking. Didn't enjoy this. I'm not going to lie to you. This one in general, I'm not enjoying. New Mutants for me went from good to great to after Vita Ayala left. There was one issue I think right after that I enjoyed, and then after that, this Anders jumped on. And David, I know that you liked that character Escapade. Oh, sorry, somebody just came in here. Jimmy, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Good morning to you, Jimmy G, and to Woof Woof as well. um, yeah, I mean, part of the problem I think I realized I had is that I felt like there was such a quick shift between here was the New Mutants team I liked, and here we threw out everybody except for maybe one or two characters. It felt like it was more of a return to form, but a weak version of return to form as far as the New Mutants goes. I also don't see why this itself constitutes as why does this have to be a 5-issue miniseries? Why didn't they just extend the normal series by 5 issues? Either way, the story itself, can I say it's a little all over the place in my opinion. The New Mutants decide to steal an object from Count Nefaria, who is not somebody you typically see in X-Men books, of course. And of course, things go sideways and they have to rescue these. They reveal in this issue what the item is, and it is something that is tied into Judgment Day, which I didn't read. I mean, maybe I'll read that digitally at some point. Yeah, like I said, it's stories all over the place. Artwork it's not my flavor. It's very stylized, more kind of simplistic and boxy. And I know I picked a random page. There's really no great pages to show. I think part of my problem with the issue in itself is that I don't understand the motivation of most of the characters, Count Nefaria included. I'm just trying to take a look. I don't think there's one single panel where he's not scowling or whatnot. And to be honest with you, he kind of looks like Doctor Strange cosplaying as Dracula. So, I mean, there's 2 more issues left in this series. I probably have the 4th issue waiting at my LCS. I'm probably just going to finish it out, but it is not something I recommend reading. Okay. Yeah, these other ones I could probably just do in sections. So, X-Men Red 11 and X-Men Red 12. Well, for you, it's this. These are both the standard covers, by the way. Oh, actually, yeah, is this X-Men? No, I'm sorry. This is Immortal X-Men 12. My mistake. X-Men Red 11 and Immortal X-Men 12. Great books. Return to form for each of them. You know, I've loved X-Men Red and Immortal X-Men because it has a different edge than the rest of the X books. X-Men Red 11 sees Storm, and this is what I kind of showed at the end of the feed yesterday when we were talking to my sister about Storm's gown. I thought this was really well done. She is interrupted by a call from Professor Xavier, of course, and she pretty much tells him, like, I don't care. This is the last time you're going to call on me, so, you know, go kick rocks. What I thought was great, too, is that you did see appearances from Nova in here. And what struck me kind of is very interesting, both in this and as in Immortal X-Men. I felt like during the Krakoan age that we've been in with the X-Men the last couple of years, they've made it a point to really separate themselves from the rest of the Marvel Comics universe. Yeah, of course, you've seen some of the X-Men pop up in like the Uncanny Avengers or Avengers Beyond, and you have seen other Marvel characters pop up during the Hellfire galas in the past. But you very rarely have seen any of them kind of really commiserate or appear in the same books outside of, again, big event books like Judgment Day or King in Black. And in both of these issues, you do see visiting things. Daredevil, how are you, sir? I'm glad that you got those books and you enjoy them, by the way, too. there's a couple of really interesting things going on in here. Some of the more secretive things I'm not going to tell you about. I don't want to spoil it for you. Again, I'm noting that this is a couple months old at this point. You good, pal? I don't know if people could hear him because of the noise cancellation. So if you could hear the little guy, just give me a thumbs up. I'm just kind of curious. There is something going on. This is not a spoiler. It's very evident from the very get-go. They tell you pretty much in the opening pages. Colossus is under the influence of his brother Mikhail, a classic X-Men villain. Oh, okay. Good news, buddy. You figured out how to break StreamYard's noise cancellation. Yeah. He's been getting a little... he's starting to throw tantrums. You know, we can hear it, but it's not noise. What is it? Hand pink waving. Psychedelic, by the way, a little bit of a local thing. I like that, Zach. Baby-tastic is too powerful for StreamYard. Psychedelic, by the way, I stopped into, and if Psychedelic lives about maybe 1 or 2 towns away from me, there is a coffee shop / record store in our town, Sweet Vinyl. And I walked in last week because we were walking. It was very hot. I wanted to get a nice cold drink for my wife, and they have comics actually on sale there. Somebody's short box, it looks like. Unfortunately, they're not priced very well. I think they're like 2020 height of the pandemic prices. But if you're interested in checking them out, there's not much that's great there. Sensational She-Hulk #1, the John Byrne series caught my eye, but it's $13. You could get that for $3 right now. Just saying. So Colossus kind of screws everybody over with a choice as to fill one of the vacant seats on the Quiet Council. And again, this is under the tutelage, if you will, of his brother Mikhail. I do like that you see the incorporation of 2 of the characters who made it over from the Sins of Sinister, Chimera and what's her name? Mother Panic, I think. Mother something, I don't know. Fill in what you want there. And one of the spoilers, by the way, is that there is a little bit of an origin behind who that latter character is named. No worries. Guess you cannot read them with coffee. I wouldn't. Yeah, they have a little seated area. I think if you buy it, they're not going to really care. But I know, that's just me. I typically don't eat or drink while I'm reading comics. Fanboy, how are you, sir? Enjoy your 4-day vacation. Dope, how are you, sir? I have to share on my community tab, Dope, I found a picture that reminded me of something that I think you'd really like. I also gave you, I don't know if you saw last week, my appearance on Only Slabs. I almost messed up there. And I gave you a little bit of a, I don't want to say a shout out, I gave you a mention because there was actually the very first slab I looked at, I said, I feel like I'm doing an analysis that would make Dope very proud. Again, I'm not going to give away the spoilers. I will say this. One of the things that people, one of the aspects, I should say, of the Krakoan X-Men, it seems people really like or really hate, are these little interludes that they do. And that this is just one at the beginning, but they do it midway in the comic as well. And I've seen them done very well, and I've seen them done poorly. I'll say this. Vita Ayala, during New Mutants, one of the things I really appreciated is that she used those in a way that added to the story. Hickman did as well when he was on it to a lesser extent. This one uses it good, but not great. The other one I showed you, that New Mutants Lethal Legion, does not, in my opinion. But both great books. I have 4 more X-Men related books and 1 indie. So I'll do the 2 more X-Men related books, then the indie, then more X-Men. Again, if you just got here, #Heatwave for your chance to win a prize. still in chat for that CGC signing. They're saying it requires window bags. What's the deal? Yeah, if you're going to get something signed, you do need a window bag. I have a video here about how to make your own window bag, but after my slip up with my Ultimate Fallout, which I'm starting to think the damage was related to the window bag itself. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. I'm opting to actually purchase pre-made window bags. I know that CGC does sell their own, but it's up to you. I mean, they're fairly easy to make, and I learned my technique from watching Matt Woods' channel. But again, go back into my channel and look, and you'll see how I did it. I've only had the issue with one of them, and like I said, I'm not positive that the damage that to my book was because of the window bag. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. And if anything, it's just because of how I remember it being lined up. Okay, so the other X-Men books I have here. Excuse me. I saw them sold. I wasn't sure what the process. First comic-related thing I've ever done. Zach, what's the date of the signing? And forgive me, I know that you told me last week from one of the books that I sent to you. What was the item that you were looking to get signed? So this first one, I'm going to tell you, my LCS gave me, this is the B cover. I don't even want to say it's a variant. I hate this cover, 1,000%. I didn't do Neil a couple months ago. Neil did a worst cover thing. And I didn't really do that only because I felt like hey, maybe I'm being unfair because what I don't like somebody else is like. I hate this cover. This is Wolverine number 33. Ooh. Interesting concept, but poor execution in my opinion. So the art in the interior, I generally like. The Jenny Frisian Catwoman. It's sometime in September, I think. Submissions are due by September 15th. Yeah, I would buy, if you're going to buy their window bag, I would do it this weekend just to make sure that you get it in time and have time to pack everything up. But go ahead and do it. Let's see. Yeah, and look, a window bag. Oh, yeah, you could hit like there, Devil. Thank you. I appreciate that. A window bag you do need that for a signing. Like I said, they're fairly easy to make. I'm just going to try to buy one again, and only because I had the damage to my Ultimate Fallout 4. You could look on the only slabs from last week. Almost messed up again to see what I was talking about, or you could go to my my window bag video. I think that is the book I prepared for it. I could be wrong on that. No, I didn't prepare that one. Never mind. I did do an unboxing video of that one though, somewhere. So artwork. I've generally liked the art in this. I thought it was Cassera, but it isn't. It's a newcomer, I believe, by the name of Juan Jose Ripe, probably. I think it's a little weak in this particular issue at the beginning. There's a very action-heavy sequence that takes place in a submerged submarine, Maverick's submarine. And I'll show you. So you have, this is a Wolverine clone. It's not the actual Wolverine. Maverick blasts him, and then you see this, he's floating away, and he's got the blood in the water. Get slammed at work back now. No problem. You're the boss. Who's going to get in trouble? I thought like a more seasoned artist, like I would love to see David Max kind of take on fighting in the water. Mike Del Mundo, though I think he did that during his run on Elektra, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, this issue is, you see basically Wolverine now kind of actively going after Beast and his kind of Wolverine clone army. And it does kind of add into how villainous Beast has really become. So it's just kind of furthering that story. Not a great story, not a particularly great chapter, but some memorable things here. So let me just see. Yeah, it was advised to use window bags. Most artists will take them out. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like at a con, maybe not a window bag. Though I guess you could reuse the window bag there. If you're sending something in a CGC, 1,000% you need a window bag. They either are not going to sign it, they might just send it right back to you, or you're going to get a signature on a bag. There is a backup story in here from Jean Lun Yang, who was writing. I don't know if it's still a current series, the Shang-Chi series. It's okay. I don't know who the character is, and I'm even just staring at it right now that they focus on. Yeah, it's not even worth showing, to be honest with you. So this one was just okay. If you're reading the series, if you're in the middle of the story, of course, it's a must-read. If not the best place to jump on. I do like that they incorporated Maverick into it. And like I said, I think that whole blood effect could have been done by a little bit better by more experienced artists, though I do appreciate the effort. X-Force 40. X-Force is also written by Ben Percy, just like Wolverine, and it's been a consistently strong X-Men book. This one, you're kind of picking up in the events in the last issue where you see a future version of Kid Omega kind of returning here and kind of acting like Doc Brown and saying, "Hey, we need, I need you to do something for the future." Comic Cup, how are you, sir? Comic Cap Collectibles, welcome. Again, hashtag Heatwaves to be entered in our giveaway, which I'm going to do shortly. This was a good chapter. Again, you're dealing with yet another kind of dark version of the Beast, but from the future, which is not surprising given that there is, you're dealing with the same writer. And he's done a consistently great job, I have to say, with X-Force. It was kind of funny, too. This might be something that if it were 2020, people would be like, it's a first appearance. It's a key. You got to go get this. There is, I don't know if this is supposed to be Albert, the robotic Wolverine, or Wolverine himself. There's a future version of the Wolverine head, basically, in this tube. And that's all he says is snick, snick, snick. I thought that was a little funny. But, yeah, some great things pop up at the end. And Omega Red really makes his presence known on the team. He's a hero in this story. He's part of the team. That one I do recommend. X-Force number 40? Yeah, number 40. Taking a break from X-Men to show you the other independent book I read, and that was Phantom Road number 1. Written by Jeff Lemire, art by Gabriel H. Walta. What are the two artists on this? Yeah, and colored by Jordi Belair. I usually don't pay attention to the colors, but the name was on the cover. I got this one for free from Reggie. It was a Skybound giveaway, I guess, to him. It's actually in pretty good shape from... I shouldn't say that. Now I'm seeing some issues there. It's just okay. I kind of think there's some good elements in place for a story, but it feels very nothing you haven't seen before. I don't know if it's an alien invasion or zombies or zombie aliens, just something I don't know. I do like the artwork, especially on the creature. I'll show you here. That was interesting. He is adding a little bit of depth, at least to the trucker character. It ends abruptly, and like a lot of Lemire's work, it's a quick read. While it's good, it's not something I can recommend. I love Jeff Lemire's work as a whole, but lately I feel like he doesn't quite know how to end his stories. There are exceptions. But like I'll say, Gideon Falls, for example, which if you're a fan of horror, dope. Actually, Gideon Falls is one that you would probably really enjoy. I read the entire series. You can buy it now in a volume in 6 trade paperback volumes. Great, great, creepy story. The last chapter just fell completely flat for me, and I feel that's the thing with Lemire is that he knows. Here's the ad for Gideon Falls. This is the first time we're showing an ad. Um, he knows how to start a good story. He knows how to start a story. He knows what a good concept is, but the endings have, on a whole, just kind of fell flat. Okay, and last time I'm going to plug this hashtag Heatwave to get your entry in. I could say the prize is a little bit different today, and in fact, I'm going to do this. No, you know what? Oh, hold on. Hold on, honey. Pick a number, 1 or 2. Pick a number, 1 or 2.
2.
Okay, she picks 2. I didn't have a coin to flip. I'll throw Phantom Road number 1 into the giveaways. So this is part of the giveaway. Phantom Road number 1. Who knows? This might get optioned tomorrow, and I'm giving away a future $1,000 book or something. I don't think that's the case, but oh well. Okay, X-Men numbers 22 and 23. I enjoyed both of these issues. Again, you're starting to see more connections to the greater Marvel universe. We knew that MODOK was part of Orchis. I didn't know if it was a one-time thing, but it seems like it's a more of a parent thing. And this is the first time I understand how devious MODOK actually is. And great job on Jerry Dugan for really illustrating that. I won't ruin that for you if you haven't read this. One thing I noticed is that very early on in the Krakoan X-Men, there was a group of new villains that were introduced. These elderly women, the horticulture, and they were kind of gardening-based type of things. And I could be wrong, but I think this is the first time that we're seeing them back, and they're talking to Orchis. But there's a nice little callback to Charlie Brown in this. That's the woman with the Charlie Brown-esque sweater there. Again, I haven't read Hellfire Gala yet. I know that there is going to be some issues between Cyclops and Jean Grey that come out, I think, right before the gala. And this is definitely a build-up to it. You see that. They introduce, this is very devious, Sentinel Zero, Orchis's newest weapon, which is a Sentinel made from the bones of the killed Wolverine corpses that have attacked Orchis facilities. You also, this is great as far as putting somewhat of a spotlight on Sunfire. Oh, excuse me, Firestorm, Firestar rather. And it's great. They kind of brought up something that I've thought about, and I thought it was kind of strange that they didn't address this. At one point they say, yeah, how many times has a Wolverine died attacking Orchis? Like, how many different adamantium skeletons do they have? And you get that answer towards the end. One thing I'll say, too, is that when I looked at this cover, I thought maybe it was a variant, because I know that Marvel was doing those Planet of the Apes variants a couple months ago, but these are not Planet of the Apes. Maybe I'm overlooking something, but you do have ape-related people working for Orchis. Yeah, all in all, a solid issue. I recommend this. Showing you the cover again. Issue 23. Again, I'm behind in case you haven't noticed that. Issue 23, you see a little bit more about really what the X-Men are facing as far as an uphill battle with Orchis, how they're manipulating how the X-Men appear in the media. Excuse me. And one thing it does very well, too, is that you get a good bond between the older version of X-23, Talon, and the older version of Cinch, as well as a little bit of magic in here, too. Trying to find a great kind of panel to show you. Yeah, this is another connection to the Marvel Universe I didn't know about. I have to really go back and look. I didn't realize that. I know that the X-Men were opening up Krakoa to non-mutants, but I didn't know Kingpin was seeking asylum on Krakoa. I will have to look into that. I'm guessing that came out somewhere in Devil's Reign. If you guys know, let me know. And also, what's in this is that Emma breaks the news to Scott that Ms. Marvel has passed away. And at this point, I know it's no spoiler that she's gotten better. So that is what I read this week. Although it was a pretty good week. That Lethal Legion is the only thing I didn't care for. But enough of my yammering. I'm going to go ahead and do the giveaway. So let's go ahead and draw. It's spinning and spinning, spinning and spinning and spinning. And oof. For the second time tonight, Trev has not won. But the winner is our friend to the north, Mr. Wellbore. There you go. So Wellbore, I'll get these out to you, and let me show you what you are getting. You are going to be getting, as I said, Phantom Road #1. I'll put this in a bag and board for you. I know. Oh, wow. Well, you know what, Wellbore, I'm going to give you a choice. And I've only shown what you already know that's in there. Do you want a bunch of comics, or, being that you're in Canada, do you want I could do like a digital Amazon gift card. You let me know which you would prefer. In fact, let me do this. I'll show you the rest of the books here. And I'll give you, we'll say, like a $20 gift card. Only because, again, shipping in Canada is not great. I'm willing to do it if you want it, but I'm giving you the option. So again, we had Phantom Road #1. Here's a bit of an older book. And again, some of these older books are beat up. You're not getting the cream of the crop in my giveaways. I'm sorry. Dazzler #9. Very cool cover. I know Gary would appreciate this. Somebody's smoke alarm went off? Okay. This was a freebie. That's why I threw in an extra floppy here. Batman Earth 1. This is the special preview edition. So it's not the full Earth 1. It was just their little preview. We've talked a little bit about the X-Men today, and somebody said, Comic Cap, I think said he's an X-Men fan. You're in the right place, sir. This is X-Men from Volume 2, #81. Rogue and Gambit reunited, but will it be in death? Adam Kubert cover there. Okay. And rather than throw in more floppies, I decided to do a trade paperback here. This is Joe Casey's The Summer of Hard, Part 1. From what I remember, I remember I had picked up the trade. It was on sale. Was not to my liking. It is definitely more adult-oriented. How about if I price tag Madam? Yeah, we can certainly do that. If you prefer to price tag Madam. You know, you said price tag, but I know what you're saying there. Yeah, you know, that probably would be good for Madam, because she would get definitely exposed to some different art styles, and there's a little bit of a different variety of things there. So yeah, I can get that over to Madam. That's not a problem. Madam, I know I probably have your information, but go ahead and message me on IG with your address. And Mr. Wellbore, thank you so much. That's mighty kind of you, sir. I'll tell you what, Wellbore, if you don't mind, shoot me your email address. I'll get you a little something anyways, sir. So there we go. 2 winners in one show because of a kind act from our friend to the North, Canada. That is everything I have to really talk about today. So what what can you expect from me this week? I'm still studying for my licensing exams. That's going to be the studying process is going to be winding up pretty quickly, hopefully during this week. So you're probably not going to see a whole lot of content from me. At least one video, of course. Not going to be a mail call because we have nothing we're waiting on. The only thing I think that I haven't received yet that I'm waiting on is the new issue of Isolation, and to my knowledge, that has not even shipped yet. Speaking of which, when I do take the licensing exam, it's most likely going to be on a Saturday, from what I understand. So that Saturday, of course, I'll give everybody a heads up. You're not going to see me on any shows because I'm going to be either deep in focus mode or I'll be in the middle of the test, and hopefully I just take it once. I know Fanboy's wife, it took a couple of attempts, and I've heard that from a few people, but I'm hopeful just to kind of get it over with. Big B McFly, how are you, sir? We're winding things up, but thank you for coming in anyway. Yeah, I do have a couple other videos planned. I think I am going to try to run to my LCS and do that live reaction. So if you don't get a second recorded video from me this week, you'll see a live reaction and live read, and I'll give you guys a couple days heads up for that. I like to give you at least 2 to 3 days of a heads up. This week was a bit of an anomaly because I couldn't confirm my guest yesterday until literally the day before. But with that, it's almost an hour, 52 minutes, not bad. I want to thank you guys for giving me at least even a little bit of your time. I do appreciate you coming here, and I hope that you like what you're seeing here. Again, I'll give you a heads up as far as what's going to happen in August. We are also probably going to have at least one Saturday off in September just for some big things that are going on. As I've said, my wife and I have been working on a big project that you'll probably know. I'm thinking we're in August, but probably by late September, I would think I'll fill you guys in because it is something that is going to certainly affect the channel and collecting in general. That's the most I will say at this point. But with that, I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Look, I know there's a lot of YouTube that goes on Saturday. Step outside, enjoy the day a little bit, unless you're in one of those areas where it's an ungodly heat wave. Here in New Jersey, not too bad. I know that it is going to rain later today. Oh, before I forget, before I leave, I didn't know this, but Big B just mentioned this. Big B is a guy, by the way, that I just became aware of through Between the Lines with Roscoe and TM Nerdy. He had a great friggin' Swamp Thing drawing about 2 weeks ago, and he was the guest, not this past week, the week before that. Check Big B's out. He's only 9 subs away from 1,000. So do me a favor. Go ahead and sub up to Big B if you don't know who he is. Let's get him to 1,000 before the end of the day. And also, again, 7 p.m., check out Tony on the Comic Verse. It's his birthday. Even if you just jump in and say happy birthday, at least message him happy birthday. But enough of my yammering. Peace, love, and comics. Take care, all.